Why is a Big Mac $6, the average monthly grocery bill $500, and the average car $50,000? Well, to answer this, we need to go back to Jekyll Island, Georgia, 1910. A group of powerful private bankers and members of U.S. Congress meet in secret to discuss their plan for a centralized banking system. On December 23, 1913, the Federal Reserve Act is passed into law. Just 2 days before Christmas, many members of Congress were absent, including the majority of the dissenting opinion. Nonetheless, the act is passed. The Federal Reserve Act created a bank for banks, a centralized banking system that promised economic growth and stability. The Fed was incredibly powerful. They could lend money to solvent banks and set the short-term lending rates. However, they were always shackled by the gold standard. They could not issue new currency without increasing the country's gold reserves. This restriction wouldn't last long, though. In 1968, Richard Nixon is elected. In August of 1971, Nixon holds a secret meeting at Camp David with a small group of advisors. Following this meeting, the gold standard is dissolved. This action was made solely by President Nixon and did not require an act of Congress since it was viewed as an executive power. This had sweeping ramifications, but one overlooked aspect was the power that was inadvertently granted to the Federal Reserve. The gold standard was the last check on the Fed's power. By dissolving it, the Fed could now issue unlimited new currency without approval or proper backing. They wasted no time using this new power. A period now referred to as the Great Inflationary Era during the early 70s, the Fed set policies that increased the total money in circulation by 176%, injecting over $1 trillion into the supply. The result was double-digit inflation. A more recent example is COVID-19. The Fed directly injected $4.8 trillion and set economic policies that encouraged commercial banks to inject far more, causing inflation up to 9%. This new currency is backed by nothing, issued without approval, and degrades the buying power of currency currently in circulation. The problem is this disproportionately affects the average person. Asset owners see values rise with inflation, while salary employees do not. The owner of the company sees the valuation rise, while salary employees see their buying power degraded. Our currency is being weaponized by an unelected body with absolute control. Every time new money is created, which commercial banks, encouraged by the Fed, do every day, your dream of home ownership, having children, retiring early, or any other component of the American dream is priced further out of reach, all while these banks profit immensely off of the interest on the money they just pulled out of thin air.